Okay, folks, I'm back again. We're going to do a little more Hebrew. I feel like I've been lazy over the last few days, but I'm back at it again. It does take quite a bit just to not just study this material, but to get the material out into the public domain. If you remember last time, we finished up with Shiur 22, lesson 22. And I think that's Eser Shtaim. Eser Shtaim, I think is 22. And let's double check that. Eser Shtaim. Esrim V'Shtaim, that's right. Ushtaim. Okay, Esrim Ushtaim. So that's 22. So then Esrim Ushlosh. I bet you it's Esrim Ushlosh for 23. Oh, Veshalosh. Okay, so we're Shiur, which is lesson Esrim Veshalosh. In this case, it's a Veshalosh. So Shiur, lesson. And then 23 is Esrim V'Shalosh. So the Shalosh would be the 23. The 20 would be represented at Esrim. And then it's like 20 plus 3. That's kind of how it is in the Hebrew counting. Okay, and so it's Esrim V'Shalosh. Okay, so that's what we're working on. Now, before I get started here, let me knock out a couple screens here so we don't have this bothering us. Okay, we're back. And we'll forward these. Okay, to groups. Okay, so we're gonna get started now on this Hebrew. And this is just me studying through this material, and I'm putting the material out there. So if I'm a little further ahead than you are, this will be a good thing for you. But if you happen to be out there and you're further ahead than I am, there's lots of them, trust me, that are. Then probably you want to go to a more advanced class. But this is kind of getting into kind of intermediate kind of stuff here a little bit. And so we're just gonna study through this material together and see what we can come up with. Okay, so here we have Shoreshim. This is like roots. Shoresh, Shoreshim. Ubinyanim. It's almost like binyan. It's almost like a building. It's like root structures. Like root structures. Let's see what it comes up with when I put it in the translate. Shoreshim ubinyanim. Yeah, roots and structures.
שורשים ובניינים.
Yeah, ubinyanim.
שורשים ובניינים.
Vinyanim. Okay. All right. So that's in other words, root structure. Every verb in Hebrew consists of a shoresh. That's kind of like shoresh. It's an O there. A root and a binyan, a structure, a conjugation pattern. Okay. A shoresh is a combination of consonants, often 3, that carry the general meaning. The letters of the shoresh appear in the same order in all the verbs and letters that share the same shoresh, which is the root. For example, lik tov. This is well, you can see this comes from katav. The root katav means to write, and then kitva. Let's see what this one is. Kitva. Let me look that one up. Kitva. Kativa, looks like kativa. Yeah, writing.
כתיבה,
Kativa. So this one is two, right? And this one is writing. Kativa. Okay, and let's see. This like shlochen, which is like I think that's peace to you all. Shulchan. Or it might be shulchan. Yeah, that's table. That's right.
שולחן,
Shulchan. Okay, so that's table. So that I must be that has to do with like the table of these root structures. Now here is Mektav. I wonder what that one is. Mektav. Letter.
מכתב,
Miktav. So here's letter, Miktav. And so notice that it all comes from the same root. Katav. There it is over there. They all derive from that. Now here's one. This is Kotav. Author.
כותב,
Kotev.
כותב,
Okay, so that's an author there. Kotev. Kotvim. Kotvim. Yeah.
כותבים,
Okay, so that's like writing. They are writing. It's like plural. Plural masculine. They are writing. They all share the same root as this. Chaf, tav, vet, katav. So this really is a shoresh. This right here is a shoresh. Shoresh, root. That's what that is right there, katav. Okay, so accordingly, these letters appear in identical order in each word. The root chaf, tav, bet indicates writing, and all the above examples deal in some manner with writing. Whether it be an author writes, whether it be a letter is something that you write on a piece of paper, and it all comes from the same root. The first root letter in all verbs is called, this looks like, this is the pa'im. This probably stands for pa'im, which is basically the conjugation of the verb. Pa'im hapuol. So it'd be like the root itself, the conjugation of the root. All right, so the second is, let's see, ayin hapuel. That looks like hapu. Okay, so that the yayin of the verb. Okay, and then the last. So these are almost like signal letters in the verb. Hapuol, okay, the letter, the lamed of the verb, and the third is the lamed of the verb. Okay, so I see what they're talking about here. They're picking out the root, it looks like. Here. The terms derive from the word po'al, which is the verb in which the pei is the first letter, ayin is the second, and lamed is the third. Okay, so that's what they're doing. So basically, that's just a different root like this. So basically, yeah, like that. So there's like three roots, kind of like that. All right, in the verb liktov, for example, chaf is the root. Okay, this must be hey, this has got to be the root of the word, hapuel, the stem. Hapuel.
הפועל,
Hapuel. Okay. So kaf is the puel of hapuel. Okay, so we've got kaf, tav. So it's almost like these are, oh, I see. So this literally is the structure This word, hapuel, the root or the stem, basically it includes the structure. So this is like number 1, this is like number 2, and this is like number 3. And usually there's a 3-letter root. And this simply, what this does is this is the first letter of the root. This is the second letter of the root. This represents the 3rd letter of the root. So, so how many of these roots you have? So this is why we would have here, in katav, for example, lik tov, to write. The pay part of it, which would be the first part of that root system, is going to be a kaf. And then the ayin represents the second part, which is a tav. And then the lamed represents the vet. So it's like katav, the root would be like. Okay, so and all of this is part of this hapual, which is basically represents the root system. All right. Okay, the binyan is a fixed structural formula. So when we say binyan, now I already studied a book with another study partner talking about this binyan, and basically the binyan is the structure of how the roots develop. And it uses a similar word that for like a building. It's like how it's built, and the patterns are nearly identical on just about every root. It doesn't matter what 2 or 3-letter root word you have. There are many extrapolations out of those 3 letters. And they usually have a meaning that is distilled down within what those 3 root letters of that root mean. So for example, like the word letter, well, it has something to do with writing, right? So it comes from katav. Or authors, it still comes from katav, that 3-letter system. So that's kind of what the binyan is, see? There's a fixed structural formula of vowels and consonants through which the shoresh is applied. So that would be the root. And conjugated. Okay, so binyan pu'al. I think that's pu'al, probably. So guess what? You've got names. There's 7 of these. There's basically 7 of these structures. Okay, there's 7 of these patterns within this binyan, within these structures. And so once you recognize those patterns, then it becomes a little easier to kind of figure out what's being said here. And then you also have to recognize what are these 2 or 3-letter roots that are included in here. How do you figure out what this word means, or at least get a hint of it? Okay, so the verbs lil mode. So that one I think is to study. Liktov, to write. Let's see what this one's pronounced like. Is it lepugesh? Lifgesh? Lepugesh. No, let's see.
לפגוש.
Lifgosh.
לפגוש.
Lifgosh. So it's almost like Lifgosh. Okay, so that's the one that means meat. All belong to the same binyan, which is basically the structural pattern. And the name of the structural pattern is po'al. I think it's let's see how it's pronounced.
פעל.
Yeah,
פעל.
pa'al, which is the structure. Pa'al. Okay, so the binyan of pa'al. So this is the call. That has to do with like the infinitive kind of stuff there, the call. Apart from their different roots, they share the same structure in the present, past, and future tenses. Now, this is important because when you are trying to figure out, well, did he run? Is he running like now in the present? In other words, did he run in the past? Is he running like now? Will he run into the future? Guess what? That's all distilled into one of these patterns that come from, for example, the root meaning to run. Okay, so you get this present, past, and future tenses, as well as an infinitive form. That's like to something, to run. The present conjugation, binyan pa'al. There it is, pa'al. So that's what that is. Pa'al. Okay, so the binyan pa'al. Verbs can be described as follows. The three letters stand for the three root letters. Okay, so for example, Shem Pual. So the name of the structure. So we have there's, in other words, you see the X's that they have here. That stands for the pattern itself. You see the lamed here with the whole limb. But notice all of these blank X's here, they're grayed out. That's because there are several of these three letter roots that can fit in there, and they mean different things, whether it means to write, whether it means to run, whether it means to lie down, whether it means to eat, whether it means to study, see? And it's almost like a puzzle. You have to figure it out. You have to look at what letters are included here, and then look at the pattern, and then you can figure out, well, is it talking about the future tense? Is it talking about the present tense? Talking about the past? That's after you figure out what the verb even is that they're talking about, whether it's eating or running or lying down or whatever. Okay, so I think this hava has to do with present. I remember correctly. Yeah.
Hava.
Yeah, hava is the present time. Okay, so, and then here's a pattern. So there's and we're going to look at these patterns, okay? So this would be the masculine singular. This would be the feminine singular. This would be the mixed plural. Because remember, even if you have one guy in a group of 11 women, it defaults to masculine plural. I know it sounds sexist, but that's just the grammar, the way it is. And then this is feminine plural here, strictly, okay, in that pattern. Knowing this structure allows us to conjugate any given verb of the binyan pa'al, known or unknown. Okay, so now a great little app, because I can see where they're going with this chapter. A great little app to get your hands on your iPhone or on your Android is an app called Pa'alim. You're going to have to pay, I don't know, $5, $7 for it, but it's worth its weight in gold. So download that Pa'alim. I think it's spelled like this in the App Store. Okay, and basically it gives you all of these conjugations. If you know the root, you're going to get all the conjugations. Okay, so let's take a look here. This is targil. This is exercise. Hashalem et. Let's see. So complete what? That one I'm not sure I've seen yet. Hashalem et atafala. Yeah, okay, the table, tabla.
השלם את הטבלה.
Yeah, hashalem et.
השלם את הטבלה.
Okay, so hatabla, that's a transliteration of an English word. Okay, so hashalem et hatabla. Okay, so complete the table. All right, so right here we have, remember the Shoresh is that three-letter root system. So for example, right off, I can tell this has something to do with writing, because I recognize that. I've used that a lot. This has something to do with, I think, studying, lamad, to study. I think that's right.
לימד.
Yeah, to learn, to study. Okay, so let's take a look at here. So up here we have the Shem Hapuel, which would be like the name of the, this is like the name of the, I think this is it might be an infinitive, liktov. And so that's to write. Shem Hapuel. Yeah, the name of the verb.
שם הפועל.
Yeah.
שם הפועל.
Okay, so the name of the verb. So basically, the lama here means to. And then you've got these three letters represented here. You've got the chaf, you got the tav, and you got the vet, okay? And that's within that pattern. So this is two right. Okay, so how about this right here? Now notice this here, zecher. That means masculine. Nichva means feminine. Rahvim means like mixed plural, masculine and mixed with feminine, could be plural. Ravot would be feminine plural. And now notice this, Targum. Targum, I think, is the translation. Targum. Targum. There we go. Yeah.
תרגום,
Oh, Tirgum.
תרגום,
Tirgum. Okay, so Tirgum. That's got to have a chirik under there. Tirgum. And then this right here has got to be a shurik. That vav there is doubles as a shurik. So if you were to see that with the actual pointing, you would have a chirik under there, and then you would have a gemel, and then you would have what's called a shurik. So it'd basically be a vav with a dot to the left of it there, and it gets this oo sound. And then a mem sofit, okay, tirgum. So it's like kind of like that, tirgum. Okay, so so basically going back here, so kotev. So this would be like if you were to say hu kotev, you would say he is writing. How about kotevet? You could say he kotevet, she is writing. How about this? Anaknu kotavim, we are writing. Why would you use anaknu? Because remember, anaknu can include women or men together. So it defaults to kotavim, unless you know specifically that we is referring specifically to just women and no men. In that case, anaknu would be used like this, but I'm not going to use anaknu on kotavot. I'm going to say hen kotavot, which is they are writing, and that's them. That's them all feminine. So that'd be like hen equals they, and it's feminine plural strictly. So hen kotavot would go with that. And then, of course, the translation, whom is right. So this is good review for me because I have gone through a lot of these studies before, but I like the fact that they're getting into this. Let me see if I have any comments or anything yet before I get further into this. Okay, let's see here. So, but this one right here, remember, Lamed Mem Dalet means to learn. Okay, so then what would be the Shem HaPuil, which would be the name of the verb? And I think it's going to be a Lil mode. Lil mode. Yeah.
ללמוד,
Okay, and it's going to be a lamed, and a mem, a holem, and a dalet. Okay, so lil mode. So that's the Shem HaPuil. That's the name of the verb. Okay, so then we have to come up with the zacher, which is I am learning, or he is learning. So then I think it's going to be I think it's going to be lomed. Let's see if that's correct. Ani lomed. Yeah.
אני לומד,
Yeah, lomed. Okay, I am learning. Okay, how about this one here, the nichva, which would be the feminine singular. So we got to take that out of this. This is our root here. Okay, so this is our root we're working with. So I think it's going to be Lomedet. I bet you it's lomedet. And I'm trying to remember, I think it's probably just a tav at the end of there. So if I were to say he lomedet. Yeah, she studies.
היא לומדת.
Lomedet.
לומדת.
He lomedet. Okay, so that means there must be like a segol under there. Notice that you really have to hear it, because if you don't have the vowel pointing in modern Hebrew, there's no vowel pointing. So you have to hear it. It's all auditory, which is why I use this this here. So he lomedet. So she is learning, or she studies. Okay, so so now we have to come up with this part here, which is the mixed plural. So it's going to be eam something. So I think it's going to be probably lomdim. And it's a hirik mem sothit. So if we were to say anaknu lomdim. Yeah, we are studying.
אנחנו לומדים.
Yeah, anaknu lomdim. We are studying. Okay. Now, how about this? We got to get something that is strictly feminine plural. So we could say you all are studying. We would use aten for that, for the pronoun. But that would look like this. Aten. So it's like, and it means you all. And it strictly refers to many women are studying. So then we have to take this shoresh here, and I think it's going to be something like lom dot. Okay, so it should look like that. So let's say aten lom dot. Aten lom dot.
אתם לומדות.
Yeah, aten, no, we got to have aten, not atem.
אתן לומדות.
Yeah, aten lom dot. You all are studying. So that takes care of the rabot category, which means feminine plural. So all of these here, zacher is masculine singular, nichva is feminine singular, rabim is mixed plural. I say mixed because there could be women in there, but it defaults to masculine plural. And then rabot is strictly feminine plural. Okay, and then so what's the tirgum? So what is the tirgum? It has to do with study. All right, so let's take a look at our answer key and see how we did. Okay, so let's take a look at this chart. So here we have Lamed Mem Dalet, that's the Shoresh. Lil Mod, remember that? We got that. That means to study. Lomed, look at that. So it'd be like Ani Lomed, I am studying. Lomedet, we could say he Lomedet, she is studying. Anaknu Lomdim, we are studying. And aten lomdot, you all, as in all girls, are studying. And there is the tirhum. It means to learn or study. See how that works? Okay, so now in this part here, they're only giving us look at this, they only give us one clue. Well, guess what? Did you know that if you know the binyan well enough, you can extrapolate every single one of these sections here if you're familiar enough with the pattern. So right now we see I think this is the pugash one is the meat one. So leaf gauche, it might be leaf gauche. Yeah, that's the meat one.
Leaf gauche.
Yeah, leaf gauche. Okay, so that means to meet. This one is leaf gauche, to meet. So we got to figure out, now we got to figure out what the shoresh is based upon this. Well, it's not going to be the lamed, because that's the 2 or 4 part. That's the preposition. So it's going to reside somewhere in here. So I think probably it's going to be the pay. And it's going to be the gemel. And it's going to be the sheen, pagash. Okay, so we should have pay, gemel, sheen for the shoresh. Now, what do we do here? So now under the zacher, meaning the masculine singular, we can figure out what the pattern's going to be, because notice now here's giving us a clue right here. Here's our pattern. Do you see the pattern? So I think it's going to be pogesh, probably. And it's going to use a holem, and then we're going to have the gemel, and now you're not going to see the saray under there. You just have to know that it's an A sound, pogesh. I'm putting them there for all of you guys to kind of get an idea. Well, what does it look like with all of the nikud included? Okay, so pogesh. So we have zacher is pogesh. So if you were to say who pogesh, he is meeting. He is meeting. Now under the nichva, we would have another pattern here, right here. See that pattern? So then we're going to use the pay, because remember that's the first letter of the pattern. We're going to use a holem, and we're going to use the gemel. And pogish, and it's going to be a sheen, and then it's going to end with a tav. So pogishet. Pogishet. I think there's probably a those are segols there. Pogishet. Yeah, kind of like an EH sound. That's a segol. There's like basically 3 dots in a triangle. We call that segol. So it's like S sound. Okay, so now we've got so under the nikva we have pogeshet, which is he pogeshet. She is meeting. She is meeting. Okay, now under the rabim, which is the mixed plural, we have to take this, and so here's the pattern right here. So we're going to start with a pay. Let's see if I can clean this up a little bit. Let's see here. Okay, pay. And then we're going to have the holem. And then we're going to have the gemel and the sheen. Pogish. Pog. It's going to be pog sheem, I think. A yod and a mem sofit. So it's going to be like this. Let me double check that. Anaknu pogshim. Yeah, we meet.
אנחנו פוגשים.
Yeah, anaknu pogshim. We are meeting. Okay. Now, how about under rabot? Okay, so let's get rid of this here. Okay, so our last pattern here is here. So this is feminine plural. So we're looking at this root right here, peg, gemel, sheen, which means me, has something to do with meeting. So now we're going to put pogshot in there, I believe. Now there's just, imagine there's a space there, a space there, a space there. They don't really leave me a lot of room to write. Of course, I write big too. Okay, and then we're going to use the gemel and the sheen. And notice this, so there's the 3 roots right there, the shoresh. And then we're going to get the feminine ending, the feminine plural ending, it's O ending, so it's pogashot. So if we were to say a 10, or how about this, hen pogashot, hen pogashot. Pogshot. Yeah, come on. Cooperate with me.
הן פוגשות.
Yeah, hen pogashot. Okay, so that would be like they all women. They are meeting. Hen pogashot. Okay, so what is the tirgum then? What's the translation? It has to do with meat. Okay, do you see how that works? So this is the pattern that you have to pay attention to. Okay, so whether it's the masculine singular pattern, this is the feminine singular, this is the mixed plural, and this is strictly the feminine plural pattern. Okay, and that's strictly for this pa'al, which is the present. It means the present, pa'al, the binyan pa'al. So this is the building, this is the structure, the name of the structure. It's the present. So I am meeting, kind of like that. All right, so let's double check our work and see what we have. Okay, so remember, all they gave us was leaf gauche. I think it's leaf gauche. Leaf gauche. Yeah, that's right.
Leaf gauche.
Leaf gauche. All they gave us, so we had to, so basically I knew that I could get rid of that. And so here's the first one, here's the second one, here's the third one. So that's what I put there for the root. Pei, gemel, sheen. Okay, so then here it is, pogesh. So that's masculine singular. The zacher means masculine singular. See this zacher up here means masculine singular. So if we were to say ani pogesh, I am meeting. Nichva, he pogeshet, she is meeting. The rabim would be like anaknu pogshim, we are meeting. The rabo would be like hen pogshot, they, all women, are meeting. And then what is the tirgum? What is the translation of it all? It has something to do with meat, whether it's he, she, they, you all, whatever it is. Okay, so you see how this structure develops here. All right, so let's take a look at this. Look what they've given us here. They've only given us the nichva, which is the feminine singular. They've only given us that. So we've got to figure out. So this is probably going to be the first letter, number 1. This is probably going to be number 2. And this is going to be number 3 in the 3-letter root. Okay, so I think probably in our Shoresh, we're going to see Resh, Kof, and Dalet. And let me see what that looks like. Rokedet. Yeah, dancing.
רוקדת.
So roked has got to be the root, the shoresh, roked. Okay, so so then if you were to say to dance, I bet you it's going to be something like lirkad. Maybe it's like that, lirkad.
לרקד.
Okay, so what I'm going to do here, just because I want to make sure, is I'm going to open up my Pa'alim program and double check the, I want to put that root in, Resh, Kaf, Dalet. Okay, there we go. And here it is, Lear code. Lear code. I'm going to put the, we got a Lamed. We have a Resh, and notice there is a Shiva under that. So we have Lear, and then we have a Holem, and it ends with a Dalet. Lear code, so it's like code, Lear code, kind of like that. L-I-E-R, Lear code. That's kind of how that's pronounced. That, you know what? I haven't seen that one yet. So this will be kind of fun to figure out. So notice that within this Shem HaPuel, this is the verb sense here. We've got to come up with the Zechar has got to be in this format. So if I were to say Ani I am dancing, it would be simply Reish, Olem, and let's see here. We're going to have a Chof, and it's probably going to be Roche, and it's going to be Roched. I bet you it's Roched. So let's put that in here and see if that's what we get. Ani Roched. It's probably Roked.
אני רוקד.
Yeah, Ani Roched. Okay, so in other words, for the Zechar, it would be I am dancing. Ani Roched. I am dancing. Okay, they've given us the feminine, Rochedet. If you were to say he Rochedet, she is dancing, that covers the Nikva. Now, what about the Rabin? Okay, remember, that's this form, that's this pattern here. So we've got to get that pattern down in here. So it's going to start with a Reish. It's going to have a Holem, and we're going to have the Kof. And it's now, this is going to be Rok. I bet you it's going to be Rok Deem. We got the Dalet there, and then the Yod, and then the Mem Sofit. So Rok Deem, it's going to be something like this. Rok Deem. So let's try that. Anaknu Rok Deem. Anaknu Rok Deem. Yeah, we dance.
אנחנו רוקדים.
Yeah, Anaknu Rok Deem. Okay, so now, get rid of some of this here. Now, under the Rabot, remember that's the feminine plural. We need to conjugate this Shoresh, this root. And so this is the pattern we're looking for. Okay, so in this case, in the first little grayed out X, we're going to put the first letter of the root, which is Reish. Then we're going to have the Holem. And then now we have the Kof. And then we have the Dalet. And it's probably going to be Ot ending, right? Because that makes it feminine plural. So I think it's going to be Rochdot. So if you were to say, they all are dancing, you would say Hen Rochdot. Hen Rochdot. We can get my thing to Hen Rochdot. There we go. They are dancing.
הן רוקדות.
Yeah,
הן רוקדות.
Hen Rochdot. They are dancing. And that's what goes under the Rabot. So then they've given us the Tirgum, which is dance. So I hope that makes some sense to you guys. And I get the idea that that's probably what we're going to be working on in this chapter quite a bit. So let me take a look at my answers and see if I got these right. Okay, so here's the Shoresh. And that is correct. We got the Reish, we got the Kof, we got the Dalet. And that, how did we extrapolate that? We extrapolated it from all that they gave us was the feminine singular. So we know that the Holem can't count. We know that the Dalet can't count. And there it is. Reish, Kof, Dalet. That's what goes in the Shoresh. So what's the Shem HaPuel, the name of the verb? Lir Code. I think that's right. Lir Code, to dance. Lir Code. Yeah.
לרקוד.
Yeah, Lir Code. Okay, so what is the Zecher, which is Zechar, I think is for masculine. So that's, remember that pattern, Roked. So if you were to say who Roked, it means he is dancing. Now we've got Rochedet, they gave us that one. How about a Naknu Rochdim? We are dancing. How about a 10 Rochdot? You all women are dancing. And so what is the Tirgum? What's the translation? There it is. Has something to do with dance. Okay, so that is Targila Aleph, Targila 1. Okay, so now what do we have here? Haotiot. This would be like I bet you these are like signal letters. Haotiot. Yeah,
האותיות.
yeah, they're signal letters. Okay, so yeah, I learned about that in another book. So Aleph is a signal letter, Hey is a signal letter, Chet is a signal letter, and Ayin is a signal letter. Okay, let me check my. Okay, I've got 45 minutes. I try to keep these down to an hour. Okay, so OTO. Basically, these right here, signal letters. So what are signal letters? They basically tell you something. It's going to tell you about the conjugation. It's going to it has to do something with the pronunciation also will obviously change if you got these letters. Okay, so in many cases, the letters Aleph, Hey, Het, and Ayin cause variation in pronunciation. The guttural sound produced by these letters are not easily pronounced without a prominent vowel. So where other consonants take a, this is a Shavah, that's what that is. So what's a Shavah? Well, for like an Aleph, you could have these two little dots right there. That's a Shavah. Actually, that's probably not a good example. Let's put a bet in there. Okay, and then this right here, these two little dots that are standing on top of each other, that's called Shavah. That's what they're saying right there. Shavah. And basically, it's a short slurred S sound. It's very quick. But you'll see it in a lot of pointed Hebrew. Okay, so in other words, normally it would take the Shavah, but if you got one of these letters right here, Aleph, Hey, Het, or Ayin, guess what? These letters take semi-vowels. So what does that look like? Ayin and Het tend to take an A sound, so that's probably a patach or a kametz. While Aleph and Hey are apt to take an E sound, so that would be like segol in some cases, and A in others. I've seen them take kametz too. All right, when the first root letter of the pa'al verb is het or ayin, it takes the vowel, which is the A sound. That's probably a patach or a kamet. In the infinitive form, the preceding lamed also takes this vowel. So la'avod. So it is patach. There it is right there. That bar, we call that patach. Okay, so it's an A sound, H sound. Here's la'ashot. So to do, I think is that one, right? La'asot. To make her do. It comes from asa, to make her do. La'asot. La'asot. Yeah, to do.
לעשות.
Okay, all right. So similarly, when the first root letter of a pa'al verb is aleph, the aleph and the preceding lamed take the vowel which is like segol, I think, in the infinitive form. Okay, yep, I was right. Le'echol, le'echol. So here is the part you got to pay attention to. Achol means to eat. So I think that's probably what that is. Le'echol. Yeah, if I can get it. Le'echol. Yeah, that's right, to eat.
לאכול.
Le'echol. And then we have this one right here, le'echov. That comes from ahav, and it means to love. Le'echov. Yeah, to love.
לאהוב.
Le'echov. To love. Okay, so when the, so basically, when you have this aleph here, a lot of times it's going to default to see these three little dots here. That's segol, and that's an S sound. Okay, so that's what they're talking about. Basically, they're talking about the vowel sounds that you're going to get when you have these letters. Okay, what are the letters we're talking about? Aleph, Hey, Het, and Ayin. You see those letters in there? It's going to be some alteration in the vowels when you conjugate these verbs. Okay, so when Het, Hey, Aleph, and Ayin are in the second position, they take a sound. In the present plural conjugation, okay, so nohagim, to drive, or driving, it's probably driving. Ohavim, let's take a look at that. I think that might be a pass there. Nohavim. Nohagim. Nohagim. Let's see here.
Nihagim.
That's not right. It's nohagim. Nohagim. There we go. Are driving.
Nohagim.
Okay, so are driving. So that's got to be. Let's see. How about if I put anaknu? Anaknu.
אנחנו נוהגים.
We drive. Okay. Labaita.
אנחנו נוהגים לביתה.
We drive home. Okay, so that's got to be in the present then. And the same thing for hohavot. So that's to love. So basically, so they're giving us like, isn't that something? If the letter in the root is in the second position, so these ayin, aleph, hey, or het, if they show up in any of the second positions of the root, then basically it's most likely going to take this ah sound, which is a patach. There it is. Patach. You see that little bar there? Okay, so when ayin and het are in the third position, the following changes occur. When they are the last letter of the word, as is the case in infinitive and singular masculine, they are preceded by an additional left sound. Wow, look at this. I think this is lishmoa. Look at that. Lishmoa. I think that has to do with to hear. Lishmoa. Yeah, to listen.
לשמוע.
And then yodea has to do with something like to know. Yodea.
יודע.
Yeah, okay, so that has to do with know. Now this comes from patach, which means to open. I bet you it's lepatoch or leptoch. Leptoch. Yeah.
לפתוח.
Oh, it's leaftoch.
לפתוח.
Leaftoch, to open. Note that even though the additional vowel is marked patach under the last letter, its pronunciation precedes that letter. So there it is, leaftoch. Okay. All right, number B. In the feminine singular, they take the vowel ah sound, which is usually a patach, as does the preceding letter. Okay, so yodaat, that's she knows. Shomaat, she hears. Potachah, potachat would be she opens. Okay, when the aleph is in the third position, it is silent, both at the end of the word. There's kore. So that's like ani kore, I am reading. Likro, let's see, what's that one? Ani kore.
אני קורא.
Wait a minute here. That's wrong.
אני קורא.
Yeah, I am reading. Okay, and then likro, I think, comes from kara, which is writing, I think. Likro. Oh, to read, that's right.
לקרוא.
Likro comes from kara, to read. Okay, and in the singular feminine conjunction, koret, which is she is reading. So that'd be like he koret. He koret. Yeah, she reads.
היא קוראת.
Yeah, she reads. Okay, all right. Let's see here. All right, so now we are again at Targil and Shtayim. Targil Shtayim. Targil Shtayim. Yeah, exercise 2.
תרגיל 2.
Targil Shtayim. So remember, I'm going to start putting the Hebrew in on the numbers for you guys. So Targil Shtayim is exercise 2. Okay, so let's see. Look at this one here. Hata. That one I might have to look up here. Ha'palim. Ha'palim ba'otiot. Oh, look at this, italicize. That's the first one. That's the first I've seen that yet. Hata means to italicize. What that means. Italicize et hapolim. Okay, so it'd be like the hapualim would be like the verbs, otiot, with the letters. Okay, amog gashot. Amog gashot. Oh, the letters provided.
עטה את הפועלים באותיות המוגשות.
Pualim, otiot. I wonder why we're getting. Oh, that's why. There we go.
עטה את הפעלים באותיות המוגשות.
Yeah, pa'alim otiot, the mugoshot. Mugoshot is provided.
עטה את הפעלים באותיות המוגשות.
Okay, so provided. Okay, so these would be like these the signal letters, right? The signal letters in the hapalim would be like the verb structure. And this says italicized, but I think it's probably, it could be bold. I wonder if it's bold too, because look, they've got this bolded. All right, so kara et hamishpatim. So read the sentences bekol ram. Okay, so read the sentences bekol ram. Kara et hamishpatim bekol ram. Yeah, read the sentences out loud.
קרא את המשפטים בקול רם.
Yeah, read the sentences out loud. Okay, so let me see what they've got here. We've got Einat. I remember that one. That's like E-I-N-A-T, and it's feminine, which I can't figure out. Ovidet, and that comes from avad. Einat ovidet. They'll come now. Einat ovidet. There we go.
עינת עובדת.
Ovedet. Okay, ovedet. He's working. That has to do with something with work. Okay. He's working. Basifria. Basifria. That's Basifria is the library, I think. Basifria. Basifria. There we go. It's
עינת עובדת בספרייה.
Basifria. Okay, so he works in the library. He or she works in the library. She. He ohevet. She likes what? Okay, I get what's going on here. We got to put the to work there. So it's going to be, okay, so probably I need my pa'alim now. So it's going to be avad. And that's right. La'avod. La'avod. I bet you it's this one here. So we should have he ohevet la'avod sham, to work there. So let's check our answer here. So a not debt, and not works, but sifria, in the library. He ohevet, she likes la'avod, to work there. I think that's probably what they've got in that spot. So let's check the answer key. Yes, there it is. A not ovadim basifria. Okay, so not she works basifria, in the library. He ohevet, she likes la'avod, to work sham, there. Okay. All right. So that I get an idea what that's all about. We're already at an hour. I think what I'm going to do is, all right, guys, I'm going to, nope, get this one here. How about this one? Select. No. All right, we'll start there next time. Get rid of this, delete. Okay, so there's a lot of material here that I think I covered in that hour. So next time we're going to work on Tergila Shtaim, which is exercise 2. Then we've got Zira. Okay, so this goes into some neat things here. I'm looking forward to that. And then Tergila Shlosh. Exercise 3, we'll work on that. This could be theoretically, this could be a 3-video chapter or a 3-video lesson section, I guess. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll put this text over here. This is the production of Hebrew Messianic Israel. We are a part of New Earth Restoration denomination. We are a Messianic denomination. Reach out to me at Shul. Okay, you can Cash App. Get anything out of this? We need a okay, make a Messianic. Okay. And so here's our local website. The denomination website is www.beroyahad.com, I believe. And then also remember our Sabbath services every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, USA time. And how do you get there? You go to a Zoom room. The Yahad gets you in there. All right, and we have a rotation of speakers, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the study. I'm going to keep slogging away at it, keep moving ahead, and this Hebrew stuff, I get a kick out of it. I love doing it. I hope that you guys can get the fire burning within you too to study this. If you are of in any way Torah understanding, you're someone who keeps the Sabbath, who keeps the feast days, you believe in Yeshua Messiah, but you keep the Sabbath and the feast days, you need to study this stuff because eventually the Almighty is going to gather us and take us back to the land. The Bible promises that. There are many second Exodus teachings and things you can look up online, but there's many scriptures that certify that to be true. All right, so with all of that, I will wish you guys a great day, good afternoon, and shalom, shalom.